Hi, my name is Jenny. I am an elementary school teacher and also a mom of a 1-year-old daughter named Alice. I'm also expecting a second daughter that is due in July. I'm also currently studying to get my doctorate in education, hence the name Jenny B. Ed D. In this video, I'm going to be talking about how I'm feeling at 17 weeks pregnant and different symptoms that you might or might not encounter. So the first thing and the most exciting thing currently at 17 weeks is the fact that I am starting to feel movement, usually when I'm lying down. And honestly, for a long time, I would think to myself, is this actually movement or is this something else like gas or whatever? There's so many things that go on with your body when you're pregnant. But I am actually starting to feel some movement, and since this is my second pregnancy, I feel like I can really tell the difference at this point. My last pregnancy, I could not tell the difference, so I didn't want to say that it was movement until I was absolutely certain. So at 17 weeks, you might be feeling some movement, especially if it's your second pregnancy, but if you're not yet, don't worry. I promise you, your little bean is going to kick the crap out of you for several months to come. The second thing that I wanted to talk about is different aches and pains that I've been having. One that is a little bit unusual that I did not have with my first pregnancy is actually gum pain. I wound up eating something that's a little bit hot a week ago, and it has made my gums hurt for a week. I had no idea that this was a thing until I looked it up, because anytime something is ailing me, I just look it up, and basically it is a thing. It's a thing that you can have gum pain, especially if your teeth and your gums are exposed to really hot or cold temperatures. So be careful, ladies. You might wind up with some gum pain if you eat something that's too hot. For me, I know that's hard because being pregnant, when I have food in front of me, I want to eat it right now. I do not want to wait for it to cool down. So that's been a very unique pain that I have dealt with this time around. Another thing that has been a little bit painful for me is my back, especially when I'm sitting on the floor playing with my daughter. I'm having some trouble with my back, just sitting on the floor. And I'm not looking forward to how that's going to develop, because I know that it gets worse. But right now, a little bit of back pain, but honestly not too bad. Another thing that I wanted to mention too is that I've had a little bit of hip pain. My last pregnancy, I had some pretty severe hip pain, and I was given lidocaine patches. They were not covered by my insurance, and they were very expensive. So I really just wound up using the over-the-counter ones. They did not help. I went to a chiropractor, I went to a massage therapist. None of that really helped. So if you're having hip pain, I feel like you kind of just have to ride it out. But everybody's different, so if you want to try the stuff that I did, maybe it will help, maybe. But this time around, I don't seem to have that much hip pain, just a little bit. And what I've been doing is I've been stretching every day, and that's been helping a lot. So one thing I will suggest is that you stretch. If you are having that hip pain, it might help. It's not going to alleviate all of it, and especially when I'm sleeping at night, that's when it's the worst, because I'm sitting still as you can. And that's when the pain's usually the worst. So the last thing that I wanted to talk about that is negative is my skin. Oh my gosh, I had this issue with my first child. I'm having this issue again. I don't know if it's because it's a girl and she's wanting to steal all my beauty, but I have had the roughest time with my skin. I swear. I've been washing my face. I've been using those little like acne stickers. I have them on subscribe and save now on Amazon because I just use so many because my skin is a nightmare. I've tried a lot of different stuff, and when I told my OB about it, they basically just said, you're just gonna have to wait it out, wash your face, take good care of your skin, but it is what it is. So that's been a really big battle for me, because I never really had issues with my skin growing up, so it has been challenging to adjust, because I'm not really a person that wears makeup to work. I don't want to, but I feel like at this point I kind of have to, because my skin is just such a nightmare. So that's been a really tough adjustment for me, both pregnancies, and it's something that you might not necessarily expect. So let's talk about the good things at 17 weeks. At 17 weeks, I am no longer feeling sick, which is excellent, because I felt sick for a long time. I didn't want to eat food pretty much, and I still do have some food aversions. There's things where I just don't feel like eating them, but I can eat anything, and I feel hungry and I want to eat. So I feel like I've kind of gotten over that hump finally of feeling nauseated to eat anything. Now every person is different, and not everyone is going to be feeling better by 17 weeks, but from what I've heard and what I've personally experienced twice, by now you should be feeling a little bit better with all that nausea. So if you're not here yet and you're feeling super nauseated still, don't worry, there is a light at the end of the tunnel, hopefully. And if there's not, you can always ask your doctor about different prescriptions that are safe to take. I know for me, Zofran was a lifesaver, but I will say if you wind up taking Zofran for nausea, take a stool softener too. Take it from me, either you're gonna have nausea or you're gonna have horrible stomach pain because it causes constipation. So just every time you take that Zofran, take a Colace with it too. That's my tip if you take Zofran. So what am I doing differently this pregnancy or the same this pregnancy as far as 17 weeks? Well, I'm still taking a prenatal vitamin, and one thing I'm doing differently this time is actually I'm taking a vitamin that has iron in it. I wound up being anemic my last pregnancy, and I'm not really sure because I'm not a medical professional if that's something that will occur again when you're pregnant, but I just figure, hey, it's not gonna hurt to get ahead of it. Go ahead and start taking a little bit of iron. So I've been taking iron in addition to my regular prenatal vitamin. I'm also trying really hard, and I say this as I'm going to have Little Caesars for dinner tonight, but I'm trying really hard to eat better this time. My last pregnancy, I had just come off of getting married and being super fit and being really strict with my eating, so I just figured I'm pregnant, I can eat whatever I want. And I gained like 80 pounds. I gained a lot. This time I'm trying to be smarter about it because while I did lose most of my pregnancy weight, when I was pregnant again, I was still about 10 pounds up from my pre-pregnancy weight. And while weight is just a number, it is not important and you should not worry about it. Baby comes first. I'm trying to just eat better for my child this time. I ate a lot of pasta last time, and as much as I love pasta, I shouldn't be eating it for 5 different meals a week. That's a little bit crazy. So I'm just trying to be more conscious of the things that I'm eating, especially the drinks that I'm drinking. I had a lot of Coke in place of my glasses of wine because I'm obviously not drinking anything. That's my personal rule. I know some people, they'll have a glass of wine with a pregnancy and they'll be perfectly fine. Just me personally, I am paranoid. I'm a worrier. I am not gonna drink anything until I'm done with my pregnancy. That's just me personally. But that was my substitute, is that I drank a lot of soda, which is, you know, arguably just as bad. But this time I've switched, I'm doing better. I'm drinking seltzer instead, so now I'm drinking a bunch of seltzer. So that's really one thing that I'm working on this pregnancy, is eating better and also just taking better care of myself. One thing that's been really hard, because I already have a 1-year-old, is getting enough sleep. And there's no way around it. I can't nap in the afternoon like I did with my first pregnancy. So if this is your second pregnancy and you also have a child at home and you are suffering from feeling tired, I feel you. So the last thing I wanted to cover is different appointments that I have coming up, and the last appointment that I had my last appointment when I was about 15 weeks pregnant, and basically it took about 5 minutes. My doctor listened to baby's heartbeat, said, "You're doing great, cool, I'll see you in 4 weeks," and sent me on my way. My next appointment, and what your next appointment probably will be, is an anatomy scan. So at the anatomy scan, you get to see all the different fingers and toes of baby, the different heart chambers, and you also get to have that ultrasound. And for me personally, I know that it is the appointment before I can actually schedule my C-section. I mentioned in my previous video that I will be scheduling a C-section, but I'm hoping that I can have a VBAC if I go into labor before 39 weeks, which is very possible. So that is kind of my plan. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and think about subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be doing more pregnancy update videos, as well as things like what's going to be in my hospital bag, especially for baby number 2, and other fun parenting and teacher content. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I will see you next time.